It's showtime! Hello, kiddies. Welcome to Tilcon, New York presents Nightmare on Enton Road with your host, Freddy Krueger. A welcome out to everybody watching tonight on this Halloween. Ooh. So, today we are going to talk about fall protection. All right, so maybe I didn't fool everybody, but it was good. It's good to dress up. It's Halloween, and trying to get into the spirit of the season. Welcome, everybody. This is the week of actually November 2nd. We're going into the month of November. Thanksgiving. We're getting closer and closer to the holidays and to the end of our season. So please make sure we work safe. All right. So let's talk a little bit about fall protection. And a big shout out to Mrs. Cacavalli today for baking some Halloween cookies. Some molasses-based cookies that were iced, and they just were very, very good. So thank you, Mrs. Cacavalli. Mr. Cacavalli really didn't need it, but we'll go from there. All right. So fall protection. We have a lot of people working at heights. I mean, that's one of the things that we deal with on a regular basis in our facilities. So we are regulated by quite a bit. So MSHA regulates us, and then there's a whole bunch of different OSHA requirements that abide by us as Tilcon, New York. So mostly in our quarries, on asphalt plants, not too much in construction, but a lot of our maintenance crews are out there and wearing fall protection on a regular basis. So the trigger heights, the steel industry, iron workers, they're about 15 feet. The scaffolders, they're about 10 feet. Construction sites has a 6 foot. But us at Tilcon, New York, we gauge 4 feet. Anything above 4 feet, with the exceptions of maybe working off a ladder, as long as the ladder is properly secured, or there's somebody holding the ladder. Depends on the job that you're doing. But other than that, anything above 4 feet. So there's a fall clearance calculation guide. Now, I know this presentation is a little small, so this presentation will be included with this video. So you'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about. So actually, it comes out to about 18 feet when you have the distance of the length of the lanyards, the deceleration distance that you would have if you were to fall, the height of the employee, and then a little bit of a buffer factor. So the average is about 17 and a half feet. So you got to gauge if you have that right equipment to make sure that you're not going to fall short. What ends up happening is you think you have the right amount of equipment, you fall, and the first place it's going to hit, it's not going to be the stop, it's going to be the ground. And then that doesn't make for a good day. So there's a couple of factors that come into play. And it's eyesight, our age, our balance, and medications that we may take. It's important that we realize the implications of the medications that we take to make sure there are some side effects that may come out with that. And then finally, if we are taking any drugs or alcohol, which I know we don't do while we are at our jobs. So there's 4 parts of the program: the anchorage, the body support, the connectors, and the rescue plan. And we're just going to touch a little bit on each one of these. The anchor connectors, it's a piece to use to safely attach. So it's important that you have a good anchor point. The regulation calls for 5,000 pound rating. Okay, now out in the plants, we probably should have a structural engineer ensuring that it's a 5,000 pound rating, to make sure that you're fully protected. But I got to tell you, please do not use railings. Okay, handrails, the rails on any mobile equipment. Please don't use that. And also electrical conduit. I see people sometimes tie off on that. They are not 5,000 pound ratings, and if you were to fall, those devices will not stop you. Okay, so please, warning with that. Okay, the body harnesses themselves. The body harness is a piece of equipment that is there to save your life. Okay? So, I always kid around. You should be one with the harness. When you put this on, this is saving your life. Okay? So please make sure you do all the checks. And we'll talk about this in a couple of minutes. But please make sure you check to make sure this piece of equipment is adequate and still properly working. Only people that have been trained in the use of this. Harnesses can be used for fall arrest, fall prevention, and suspension. And then body belts. The body belts themselves are not allowed for fall protection, for fall arrest systems. They can be used like up on a roof at an anchor point where it's holding you from going so far out to the edge. That's an acceptable measure for body belts. So we don't have any situations like that. So we don't allow them, especially for fall arrest. And then you have snap hooks and the carabiners. You got to make sure that the hooks themselves have the double, what they call double action. So in this case here, somebody can't walk by and snap that in place. You have to have a double piece of that. So you got to snap in here and then push down on this side. So it's actually a two-part series, okay? And the same thing with the carabiners. Carabiners. I can never say that word right. I want to say Caribbean. So anyway, so what you got to have is making sure that that can't snap into place. So you have to put a twist and then in, okay? So that's what they mean by double action. Auto locking, rated for 5,000 pounds, okay? So that needs to make sure that that's all in place and you have everything promoted from that standpoint. Fall arrest, once again, I mentioned about the 4 feet, making sure you take a look at the proper distance. And then here's some of the lanyard systems that we use. These are like the Mini Max and the Mighty Max, if you will. So I like, these are called lobster claws. I prefer those myself with regards to that. It has a much better fit and has a little bit more flexibility for you for moving around. And then if you are working in a mobile piece of equipment and you have to step down or step out and step down, equipment from that standpoint, you need to have a double lanyard. So what you would do, double retractable, this would be hooked on to the mobile piece of equipment. You would go out, you'd hook this one on, and then you would just kind of walk down the line that way if you had to go at heights. For the equipment itself, it must be inspected prior to use. I'll show you 1 second here, okay? So you have to inspect that equipment every time you put it on. Then we have to have a monthly documented inspection, and we actually have a monthly inspection checklist. So this should be filled out to make sure that we're capturing all the information off of the fall arrest systems and the retractable systems. And then there has to be an annual inspection by a competent person. So starting in November, probably running about 6 weeks, Ian and I will be coming around and checking all the fall protection equipment that they have. So we'll be reaching out to you and we'll get certain information from you. So as you're doing the inspections, all right, let me take off the Freddy hand here. Okay. So first thing you want to do is you want to check the harness itself to make sure there are no tears. Their stitching is all in good place, in good order. Making sure that everything is the stitching is not fractured in any way. And then also making sure that the webbing is in good shape as well. So you're checking all of that. You want to make sure that you're checking the hardware. Make sure the hardware isn't bent. It's still in that round circle. Okay, making sure that's all over, where you have it. Okay. Making sure your buckles, okay. Some of them have snaps. We have some of the ones that have snaps. This is a little bit older model. And the other thing you want to check is to make sure, and so all of the equipment that we have has information underneath. There's a spot there. Some of them have it up here. They'll have it up in this area. But this one happens to have it on the back. So you could check to see Here it's saying that it meets the ANSI standard Z359.11, and it also has when it was manufactured and what the serial number is. And why that's important is because that's the number that we're going to match with you. So this was manufactured back in April of 2017, and the serial number, so if this was mine, this was South Cackler Valley's, it would be Q1116341. Now, why is that important? Because if this is my piece of equipment, I need to make sure, and then what we do is we match it up. Now, there's a fallacy out there that these pieces of equipment have to be replaced every 5 years, and that's exactly what it is. It's a fallacy. So, if we're doing a good job of inspecting and checking the equipment on a regular basis, doing our monthly checks, and then doing our annual inspections, and they're all still in good shape, these can last as long as it can. So you also can wash this. Now, I'm not saying you can throw this in the washing machine, but you can take a bucket, with a soft cloth, and just kind of wipe it down. We work in very dusty environments, so it's important that you clean this once in a while so this thing doesn't kind of get fray, if you will. So you clean it, mild soap, like a Dawn, maybe a liquid Tide, something like that. Just clean it, okay? And then what you want to do is take a clean rag as well. Don't dump it into anything. Just take it and just kind of damp, wipe it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to hang it up. Okay? And let it drip dry. That's the best way to store your equipment, is to hang it up by the ring itself. Just don't shove it in your locker, stop shoved in some bag. Hang it up, and you'll get the best wear out of it. The other thing, as we talk, is your retractable. Now, this is a bigger piece, and this is probably getting to the end of the lifeline for this. I like the smaller, the Mini Maxes, if you will. So what you're going to do, once again, you're going to pull this out as far as it goes. And most of ours are 6 feet. Okay, this is a little longer. But anyway, as you're pulling this all the way out, you're going to check to make sure the webbing is all in good shape. There's no frays or anything on here. Okay, every time, okay, you let it snap back. You're going to check the hardware, making sure that this can't open by itself, that double lock. There you go. And then you're also going to check, your carabiner. Okay, making sure that's got the double lock. And then you're going to check for the retractable. Okay, so this should be locking. That should be locking like that, okay? Okay, now, with this piece of equipment, we probably need to send this one or two things. To send it back to the manufacturer, to have them reset this, or we need to throw it out. And what we would do to discard this is we would take this and we would cut the strap. The same thing with fall protection. When we're going to discard it, we cut the strap so nobody just pick it up and bring it home. So everybody gets the same kind of training. Once again, if you're working in a mobile piece of equipment, please make sure you wear your fall protection equipment as soon as you get in. Once you get in there, you need to hook up. Even if you're just driving at the lower level, you need to make sure that you wear it at all times. Okay? All right. One last thing. We're required also to have a rescue plan with regards to anybody up on fall protection, with working at heights. So we have an elevated work and rescue plan already developed. So what you would do is that if you're doing a risk assessment and you have that I have to wear fall protection, you would be filling this out in order to set up for a rescue plan. So more to come on this as we go forward. So making sure that we do the right thing. We're wearing the right equipment when we have to with regards to fall protection. And once again, please wear it. Make sure it's in good working condition because it's a part of you. And you need to make sure that that's in good shape because, it's really saving your life. All right, real quick. This Tuesday is Election Day. And, we all know what's been going on in this country. It's been a tough year. A lot of people are very tense, and a lot of wonderful things have happened, but a lot of bad things have happened as well. So we want to make sure that we stay on the upside of stuff. So, they put out, before you go to vote, make sure you are as prepared as possible. Know what you're going to, try to know who you're going to vote for, okay? When you get there, to minimize the amount of time that you're either online or in a voting booth. The other thing is that, make sure you follow the 3 W's, wear your mask, social distance, and wash your hands, okay? Keep your hands clean, especially when you're going in and out. It's a public place in those type of situations. Situational awareness. I live in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is a big state, and there's a bunch of states on the border, that are going to help either candidate. Ohio, Michigan, a few of them, and they're just warning, that there could be potential trouble in those type of states, where there's a lot of tension, with all the candidates from that standpoint. So please vote, okay? Please use your right to vote. It doesn't make a difference to me on who you vote for, okay? But please, use that right to vote. And please, by all means, do it safely. Keep yourself safe, your family members safe that are doing that as well. And that's all I have this week, Tilcon, New York. Thank you for appeasing me with my with the get up, but I really enjoyed doing these, and it's a pleasure working with you and for you. All right, Tilcon, New York. Have a safe week. We'll talk next week.